Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Since I'm leaving for London later on this week, I figured the perfect theme for today's Makeup Monday video would be to do a full face of British beauty brands. I kind of cheated because I included Pat McGrath Labs. I think technically their headquarters is in New York City, but she's from Northampton and she's an absolute legend, so we have to talk about Pat McGrath Labs. I have some Charlotte Tilbury, of course. Iconic London, Illamasqua, Rhodial 111 Skin. I pulled out some of my Florist London favorites. And I'm sure there are so many incredible brands out there that I don't even know about yet because I haven't discovered them. So if you know of any others that have to go on my radar, definitely comment down below. We're starting with eyes, so I am starting with my 111 Skin under eye patches. These are the Celestial Black Diamond eye masks. They stay in place, they don't slide down my face, and they feel incredible. So cooling underneath the eye. I'm using this video as the perfect opportunity to practice a really nice makeup look that I can use while I'm on my trip. So I pulled out the Divine Rose palette from Pat McGrath. This is the beautiful limited edition packaging. It's so gorgeous. I kind of like this color story for the trip because it's pretty neutral. Yes, some of the shades have a rosy undertone, but it's really not that rosy. It's more like a dusty mauve palette. So I think this will create some really nice sophisticated looks. To prime my eyelids, first I'm going to dab on just a little bit of the Pat McGrath Labs concealer. You never know how much time you're really going to have when you're on a group trip like this, but at least one of the nights it looks like we're going to a really nice restaurant for dinner. So I will probably have the opportunity to dress up and do a more evening style makeup look at least one of the nights I'm there. So that's what I'm going to practice today. That way, if I already know what I'm going to do and I kind of have it under my belt, so to speak, it will be a little bit easier when I go to actually get ready. I'm so proud I cleaned all of my makeup brushes over the weekend, so I've picked up this Rephr 16 brush and I'm going into this shade right here. It's kind of the perfect medium intensity matte. And I'm concentrating in the outer half of the crease. And then once the majority of that eyeshadow has been distributed off of the brush, I'm going to slowly start to blend it in on the crease and then slightly above as well. I'm juggling a bit of family stuff at the moment, so I'm not sure I'm going to have time to film a packing shopping vlog this time around. I did some returns over the weekend. I don't only shop, I do make some returns. I had a couple things that I needed to take back from the last few times I went shopping. And then I think I'm basically going to shop my closet for this trip. I'm waiting until it gets closer to the day that I'm leaving so I can check the weather and make sure I have everything that I need because I'm not going to have a lot of time when I get there. So if I forget something or I don't pack appropriately, I will be out of luck. I picked up a Rephr 13 brush and I'm going into this deep chocolatey shade down here and I am going to pop this in the outer V to give us some depth and dimension. I have plenty of light jackets, light sweaters, and boots that I can take with me, scarves, hats. So I'm not really that concerned about the temperature. It seems like it's going to be in the 60s during the day, 50s in the evening, but I'm concerned about rain. I'm not sure I have everything I would need if it's going to be soggy weather the entire time. Because I know we're going to be out exploring. Rain or shine, I am leaving the hotel. It rains so much in Florida over the summer you'd think I would be prepared, but that's really the only thing that I'm concerned about at the moment. Hopefully we'll have a dry couple of days and I won't have to worry about it. I'm quickly going back with my original fluffy brush and I'm just going to blend those two together in the crease. Next, with my flat shader brush, I'm picking up this center berry shade right here and I'm going to apply this to the lid. I was so tempted to stick with the bronze and the golds, but I always do neutral eye looks and I kind of want to experiment a little bit, have some fun with some of the color from this palette. And this is definitely going to be an evening look. This eyeshadow is going on so smooth. And then we're going to add some shimmer to the center. I just looked it up because I didn't remember. The last time I went to London was in November 2014. So it's been 8 years, right? Did I do that math correct? Yes, 8 years. My husband is from Reading, outside of London, so we went to visit his family. And of course, it was my first time, so he did take me around to some of the tourist spots. It was a pretty quick trip. I think we were only there for a couple of days. But we haven't been back since. Well, I haven't. He has. I just can't wait to see it again. And I think it's cool to be going back during a different time of year because everything is magical in November around the holidays. I remember all of the window displays, and there was a big Christmas tree in Covent Garden, and it honestly felt like, I'm sure this is a very American thing to say, but it felt like a scene out of Harry Potter. But everything just looked so beautiful. And also to get the opportunity to travel with a brand, I feel like I'll have access and experiences that I wouldn't normally have, or I couldn't have on my own if I was going as just a tourist. Using the same brush, I just wiped it off on a paper towel. I'm going into this duochrome shade right here. It's kind of a peachy gold. It's very pretty. I'm going to pop that on the center of the lid. One of the big highlights from my first trip was visiting Harrods, of course. But I've never been to Selfridges, and I think that would be a really cool stop. I've heard so much about it. I've ordered from Selfridges, but I've never seen it in person. So I think that will be on my trip bucket list for the last day. With my finger, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this sparkly shade right here, and I'm going to pop that right in the center as well, just to really amplify that duochrome shadow. This will take it to the next level. I don't want to completely cover it up, but it takes it from ooh to wow. It really looks sparkly now. I don't want to cover up that sparkle we just added, but I want to make sure there is a nice gradient between all of these shadows. And then one last time, I'm just going back with my original fluffy brush, and I'm just going to make sure there are no harsh lines anywhere. I have my YSL makeup remover and a little Chanel cotton pad to clean up the edges. We're moving on to the face for now. I already did my skincare and skin prep before I sat down to film, but this is sort of a skincare makeup hybrid product. These are the Soft Focus Glow Drops from Rodial, the Illuminating Ultimate Glow Primer. I'm going to apply this the very dramatic Instagram way, directly from the dropper to the face. Oh, it smells so nice. I love the way this smells. Now, the reason this is sort of a skincare product is that it has antioxidants in it. So it's supposed to help brighten the skin, even out texture and skin tone. I always like to start with a primer that has skincare in it. That way it acts as almost a buffer between my skin and foundation. And it's a very subtle luminosity. I'm also going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I'm going to kind of spot prime. I'm just applying this in the center points of the face. So anywhere that I want a little extra glow, underneath the eyes, the chin, the center of the forehead. If I like the way this complexion turns out, I might just throw all of these products in my makeup bag and take this as my everyday makeup. I just love the Hollywood Flawless Filter. It truly is that product. In fact, you know how much I love liquid illuminators, but if I had to choose just one, it would probably be the Hollywood Flawless Filter, because I like the fact that it's available in skin shades. That way, almost everybody, I would hope everybody, has a shade that will work nicely with their skin tone. And you can always mix it into your foundation, mix it into your concealer. body lotion if you wanted to. I use shade 6 Neutral in the Airbrush Flawless Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. Finding the right shade is the difficult part, but then it's a beautiful foundation, and you really don't need a lot. So I'm starting with 1 pump. And because we've already applied 2 products to the face, hopefully that will kind of help this glide on and we can cover more surface area. You really don't need a lot. Otherwise, it ends up looking like a foundation mask. I only picked up a little bit of product. I haven't used the full pump, and I will definitely be able to cover my entire face. The undertone is a little bit funny. I think this is more of a yellow undertone, more so than neutral. But I tried every shade whenever this foundation first launched, and this was truly the best one because it also oxidizes, so you have to be careful. But especially when I have a sunless tan on my body, this 6 Neutral is by far the best. Let me show you how much product is still on the back of my hand. I did 1 pump of that foundation, covered the entire face, and look how much is left on my hand. I would definitely say with this foundation, it's better to work in sections on the face. Kind of start with one cheek, go to the forehead, other cheek, chin, versus kind of dab all over the face and then start to blend. It's already built to cover the face, so you don't want to accidentally use too much. I'm going back in with my Pat McGrath Labs concealer. And I'm only using a teeny tiny bit because this also spreads really far. And it's so full coverage. Between the full coverage foundation, I don't necessarily want to layer on a ton of full coverage concealer. I received the official itinerary. I don't want to give away any big surprises, but I'm going to read it to you in a second, and I'll tell you what we are getting up to. So if you have any suggestions or recommendations for what I should wear to any of these events, you can tell me because I'm at a loss. I keep Googling images, trying to figure out what to wear, what to pack. I love any reason to get dressed up, so I plan to go all out for this trip. Who knows when I'll be invited back? It might be another 8 years until I return, so I feel like I really need to go with 110%. I pulled out my iconic London Sheer Bronze Liquid Bronzer in the shade Golden Hour. This is so sheer, but it's really fast and natural as well. So I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit. I also pulled out my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer just in case. And I'm just going to kind of dab. I'm not really worried about being precise, just the general area where I plan to blend. I actually think the best use for that product is probably just to mix it into your foundation if you got a little color, maybe you got a little sun, and so you need to amplify, kind of boost the color in your foundation, or maybe apply it as a primer beneath your makeup. It works nicely blended on top as well. I've never had any issues with it, but I just think it makes sense to kind of blend it all over the face. Maybe if you're doing a very minimal, no makeup, you just want to add a little bronzer and that's it. I just pulled up the schedule. Are you ready? So first we have the arrivals, of course. Then there's some leisure time, a welcome lunch. And then we will be visiting the Florist German Street Boutique, dinner at Spring. Then we have a Royal Windsor Horse Show. This is the next day, followed by a Platinum 22 launch presentation. So that's the new fragrance, which is in celebration of the Platinum Jubilee. It's called Platinum 22. And then there's tea at the Fairmont Windsor, and then dinner at another restaurant. And then the following day is my free day, and then I leave the next day. I'm sure I have an outfit in my closet that I could wear to dinner the first night and to exploring, walking around, visiting the boutique. The only events that I'm unsure of are the Royal Windsor Horse Show. I'm not sure what to wear, and then tea at the Fairmont Windsor. no idea. I looked it up. The pictures look beautiful. And I just want to make sure I'm dressed appropriately. I love a good theme. I feel like I need a hat or some sort of hair accessory situation, and I don't have anything. Help! Before I powder my face, I have one more cream product. These are the blush drops from Rodial. I have the shade Sunset Kiss. It's pretty thick, so I'm just going to drop a little bit on the back of my hand, kind of smear it around, and then tap. And you can see it has this beautiful luminosity to it. It's so pretty. I'm going to pick this up with a brush. Ooh, it's so pretty. And it blends perfectly. It has a little color, a little glow, and then it also has a little bit of that glass skin texture. So you really don't need a highlighter. Looks a little glossy, a little glassy. I'm going to do my best to show you what happened. I have a disaster on my hands, and I knew this was going to happen. I just knew it. You know when you know something's going to happen and you want to be wrong, but you're just not wrong? I went to pull out a powder, and look what happened. You can probably see, but my McGrath Labs powder that I just picked up during the Sephora Spring Savings event shattered. I could see there was like a little hairline fracture in the powder, just this little crack. And I thought, this feels so delicate. Every time I would just lightly tap it with the brush, a huge puff of powder would kind of burst up. I know this is probably illegal. I'm going to cross-contaminate my powders. I just don't know what else to do. I like the Chanel powder. I like the Pat McGrath Labs powder. This is the only tub that I think is big enough to fit all of this product. Because if I just let this sit in the drawer and I don't do something to fix it, it's just gonna go to waste. I can always get a new tub of powder, but I'm just gonna plop that in there. You see the whole thing just cracked. This way, at least I know I will use the powder. It's unfortunate, but I can't say I'm really surprised. I did sort of have a feeling that it was going to break on me. But I refuse to let it go to waste. Because you see, this gives me the brightness that I want, and it just looks airbrushed on the skin. Since the sheer bronze is so sheer, I'm just going to go in very quickly with a little bit of this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is the shade Medium, the airbrush bronzer. And this is actually pretty light, so the combination will be perfect. I pulled out so many products, I'm going to do my best to use them all. I also have the iconic London Silk Glow Duo in the shade Rose Glow. Such a beautiful blush highlighter duo. I love these colors. You can definitely still see the cream, the Rodial drops, but I'm just going to pat a little bit of this right on top. This will sort of set the cream. Not that I think you have to set a cream blush. I think it almost defeats the purpose, but I'm going to, just so I can use both. I'm also going to use this highlighter. Kind of the perfect champagne gold shade. It's really pretty. I see this brand all over Instagram. They do such a great job marketing. I saw it everywhere, and then I realized that Sephora carried them, and that's when I first purchased that sheer bronze. And then this palette was sent to me complimentary, but there are so many products that I've added to my shopping cart. It is definitely a full glam moment, full face. I can't really see skin shining through, but I did my best to use the least amount of foundation as possible, so I actually think it looks really nice. It certainly doesn't look heavy. Now it's time to finish the eye, so I picked up my Divine Rose palette again and this little pencil brush, and I'm going back into the original shade and I'm going to buff this beneath the lower lash line. And I'm concentrating on the outer half of the lash line. This is usually the point in the makeup tutorial that it really starts coming together. With a little precision brush, I'm going to pick up this shade up here. It's kind of a funny shade because it's iridescent, and the colors just seem to be so different from the rest of the palette in my opinion. I don't know, I think it's a funny choice, but it's kind of fun, so we might as well use it. I guess it's sort of a pink iridescent, so I'm going to pop that underneath the inner lash line, inner lower lash line, and inner corner area. Just going back with a blank brush and I'm blending that out so that it doesn't look like it was just pasted there. Like it looks a little bit softer. Same precision brush, I'm going into the sparkly shade right here that we popped on the center of the eyelid. I'm going to pop a little bit of that shimmer right in the inner corner of the eye, just a small amount. I filled in my eyebrows, did eyeliner, mascara, and then I quickly finished styling my hair. So the last step for makeup before we move on to lips is to highlight the brow bone, and I pulled out another highlighter. This is from Illamasqua. I have 3 of these highlighters, and they're some of my favorites, especially for the price, because this is huge. This is the Beyond Powder highlighter in the shade OMG. And it is one of my favorite highlighters. It's just gorgeous. It's kind of the perfect everyday highlighter. I also have, let me show you my other shades. This is OMG Burst. It has this really pretty kind of violet swirl in there. So you do have the original shade, and then there's also that plummy pink color. This is really beautiful. More of a blush topper, I would say. And then I also have this iridescent color. This is the shade Days. Actually, this would probably match the inner corner a little bit better than OMG. So I'm going to use this one to highlight the brow bone. I just picked up a flat brush. This is a Rephr 28. And I'm going into Days. Yeah, you can see it has a little bit of that pink iridescent undertone. So it kind of ties into the inner corner of the eye nicely. Really pretty. I love the eye. It's very dramatic. I haven't done a smoky evening look like this in a while. But I think it looks really fun. Because we have so many shades going on and a lot of sparkle on the eyelid, I think a nude lip is really the only way to go. If it was a real special night out, maybe then I would do some color. But I'm going to stick with my very boring and basic Pillow Talk lip liner. And I'm just going to do an all nude Charlotte Tilbury lip. I'm going to go in with the Super Nude lipstick. This is from the Super Nudes collection. Just a little bit. Just kind of dabbing that on. Such a pretty color. On top of that, I'm going to apply the Champagne Diamonds lip gloss from Charlotte Tilbury. These are so pretty. Ooh, and it has a little glow. You'd have to look really close to be able to see any sort of sheen. But I think it kind of ties into the eyelid nicely. I love this lip. That's such a pretty combination. Ooh. My makeup and my hair are now done for the day. This is the finished look. I always like looking back on my before to see the full transformation. It always blows my mind to see the process, but then to see how it started and then how it ended up. I think it turned out really nice. When I look in the mirror, I think the complexion products came together perfectly. I love this eye. It's a little smoky, a little fun, a little flirty. Perfect for maybe a night out on the town in London, who knows. But I think I will most likely pack all of these products. I'm just going to throw everything in my travel bag because with this palette, with Divine Rose, I think you can go extremely light, very everyday, minimal, kind of dab a little shadow on the lid and get out the door. But then you also have the option, the versatility to create something a little bit sparkly like this. So it's kind of the perfect palette to take with me, still sort of neutral-ish. I still haven't decided what outfits to pack, so I have no idea how to plan there, so I think neutrals is probably the way to go. And then I'll just pack a bunch of neutral lips, but I think for complexion, this is probably what I will take with me. I almost forgot, I do have one last new product here to try. This was sent over complimentary from Florist London. This is the brand who is going to be hosting me in London. They sent over their brand new Cherry Blossom Hair Mist. And I was browsing their website earlier today. They have so many unique items. I'm going to stop myself from placing an order before I get there so I can pick some things up when we visit the boutique. But they do have a full-size fragrance or a regular fragrance for the Cherry Blossom, and then I guess the hair mist is new, but I took it out of the box. I haven't tried it yet, so might as well try it together. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, that smells so nice. Okay, yeah. So ooh, the hair mist smells so good. Now I have to try the perfume. I'm going to try it whenever we visit the boutique because I love this. I love Cherry Blossom, but this is really nice. It's light, fresh, a little bit sweet Cherry Blossom. It's kind of that perfect clean hair smell. So when you're walking by somebody, if you flip your hair, they'll be able to smell some Cherry Blossom. I love it. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, I want to keep spraying it. Okay, I'm going to stop myself because I don't want my hair to get too saturated, but it smells so nice. I'm a huge fan of this Cherry Blossom. Now I'm excited to try the actual perfume. On their website, they had a couple soaps and candles. They had a lavender mouthwash and a rose mouthwash, which I'm also really interested in because it's just so unique. I've never had a fancy mouthwash like this. If you love Cherry Blossom, you will absolutely love this hair mist. Oh, it smells so nice. So that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you liked seeing the process and hearing about my upcoming schedule for the trip. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. Be on the lookout for my London vlog or vlogs in the future. Those will be coming up soon. If you have any recommendations, anything that I have to do while I'm there, I will have probably 18 hours on my own that I need to fill. Leave me your recommendations down in the comments section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.